obviously best known in the Doctor Who universe for the Planet of the Dead, but that isn't your only visit to the Doctor Who world. You were also involved in one of the adventure games.
I was indeed, yes.
What did that consist of?
Well, I worked sort of consistently over a good few years now, not for the last few because I've been fairly busy with a different job, but with Big Finish. And so I've worked on Beneath Summerfield Chronicles, and then I also worked on the computer game as well, all about Guy Fawkes, which was just, it was quite wonderful and bizarre. I mean, it was sort of dealing a lot with Scott Hancock and Gary Russell and these wonderful guys who just sort of said, would you come and do this? And I'm like, jobbing actor, yes please. So you go along and you go to these amazing studios over towards the West London way, which are famous for their wonderful lunches, and you get to go in there and do silly voices in a booth, and it's a dream job. As a kid, it was watching Robin Williams was my favorite thing, watching Mrs. Doubtfire and the voices he would go through doing that, and Aladdin. And that constant chopping and changing, I was fascinated by somebody's ability to be able to do that. So to be offered an opportunity to work on the Gunpowder Plot and working with, in the Beneath Summerfield series was just wonderful. It's just it's a dream gig for most actors. They love just being able to play with their voice and not having to worry about how they look.
Just rock up in your pajamas, you're fine.
You can. That's the wonderful thing. Do you know what I mean? You can sort of wander in, and then it's just all about what people are hearing and just getting that right. And you don't have to, you can leave a bit of ego at the door and not have to think about what your hair looks like or, whether you've got pillow print on your face still.
It's not dissimilar to doing these interviews, actually. I was doing one the other day. I got to the end. I've got my shirt on, but I was still wearing pajama bottoms.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people have been doing that. I know a few friends who've been doing sort of Zoom meetings with offices and things like that. And from the sort of the waist up, they've got like a shirt on, and then underneath they've got like boxers, some in their knickers. So I think people are getting away with quite a lot of that kind of thing at the moment.
So as an audio actor, are you quite focused and still when you're in that booth, or are you quite an energetic physical actor?
It entirely depends on the character. If you've got quite an energetic kind of character, you want them to sound that way. But also, when reading the stage directions, you'll also see whether it says leaping out of a vehicle or doing this or doing that. So you need to get that in your voice. So you can't just sort of speak into a microphone and not have any movement there, because then you won't sound like you're doing that. Do you know what I mean? So if you're sort of falling from a car, you need to kind of go and sort of make the noise. Otherwise, you can't just go, ah. No one's going to believe it. No, they're going to be like, oh, he barely even tried on that one. So yeah, you've got to kind of throw it about a little bit in order to kind of get the right effect. But yeah, it completely depends on the character.
Now, I can't let you go without talking to you about your other big job that you're very well known for, of course, Holby City.
Indeed.
You originally joined the cast just for a short time.
Yeah.
So it must have been very gratifying to be asked to stay on as a regular character.
Massively. I mean, Holby's been going for 20 years. It's a cornerstone of the BBC, alongside Casualty and EastEnders, and it's something that people have just learnt to know that is on, and it's there, and the characters, and it have become part of people's lives. So it was an absolute honour to be invited to be on there as a guest, just sort of 7 or so episodes, working alongside these incredible actors who I've seen in so many other things, working with Claire Higgins, who, Olivier Award-winning Claire Higgins, who I had seen in so many different productions and films, and all of a sudden I'm having coffee with her and we're just about to go and do a scene, and I'm just like, this is amazing. And then once the episode had aired, and I believe there was sort of some shifting around at work and stuff, and people leaving and things, I had a call saying, would you like to come and be a regular? And yeah, I was just sort of offered a year outright, and I was like, well, yes, nearly bit their hand off. So yeah, it was a wonderful honour.
working on a show like Holby and any of the other ongoing dramas, it's not an easy job, though, is it? I mean, it's a real slog. It's a real production line.
I always remember going to one of the soap awards within my first year or two, and Danny Dyer got up and accepted an award, and he said, "A lot of people don't realise it's graft, mate. It's graft," which it is. It's a long shoot. It's, you know, people don't realise that we work Monday to Friday, sometimes on Sundays when we need to. We do, you know, most of us are there by 7:15 in the morning, and we're on set and filming by 8 o'clock. We then finish at 7 p.m. So by the time you've taken your makeup off and, you know, got back into your normal clothes and you've driven home or get the train home, get some food and stuff, you read your lines for the following day, do whatever you need to do. By that time it's bed. So it's a long day. I mean, obviously it depends on how many scenes you're in that particular episode and stuff. So, you know, if you're in it kind of briefly, you've got a slightly easier time, but that time balances out when the few scripts afterwards you're in heavily. And then all of a sudden you're in every scene every day for the whole week. So, but, you know, it's such a joy to work on, and we're such a familial unit that it kind of rockets by, and you don't realize you'll feel tired, you know, come Friday night. I've gone to friends' birthdays and stuff, and, you know, Friday night I'll get the tube into Central when we could get the tube, and I'd go and I'd meet people in a pub, and I'd be like that, just sort of trying to keep my eyes open. It would be sort of a constant kind of battle, because it kind of creeps up on you quite how tired you are. But that's everyone is, but we keep going and we make it fun because we love what we do and we love working with everyone there. So in a way, because everyone's in the same boat and we're all enjoying it, then we're like, oh well.
It's fair to say you play a very complex character who's certainly changed and, if I say, mellowed somewhat over the years.
Yes, he's mellowed. I think when Dom first sort of arrived in Holby, he had a massive chip on his shoulder. He had something to prove, and he was going about getting people's attention in the wrong way, and having never really had a proper friend, sort of a proper best friend, to point him in the right direction, or to argue with him and tell him that what he said is wrong and that he shouldn't act like that. And for never being pulled up like that, it changed him when he met Zosha and Arthur, and when they became thick as thieves, the three of them, and you were able to see a character who's distinctly flawed in many ways, sort of sanding down those rough edges and going, oh, okay, I need to be more like that. And I mean, he's still got that side. He's got a fighting side to him, and he's got a catty, bitchy side to him, which is his defense mechanism. You know, I think as a gay man, I can say that, you know, growing up in a sort of environment and society that sort of constantly belittles you, you build sort of a thick skin, and you armor yourself with whatever you have at hand. And his was his quite fierce intelligence and his ability to be acerbic and to puncture people with a barbed comment. So that's always been his armor and his weapon. So he still has that in his arsenal, but he just tends to use now, like, talking to people and reasoning with them, rationalizing with them.
So, I said, as a gay man, going into work and getting to kiss Mark Elliott and Lee Mead, it's not a bad way to earn a crust, is it?
It's not too shabby, do you know what I mean? I mean, I've been fairly lucky with all the people that I've had to snog at work. So, yeah, I mean, my first scene with Mark Elliott, I literally had met him in the hallway whilst he was going for a costume fitting. And then the next time I saw him, I was getting into bed next to him in just a pair of pants. And our first shot was me waking up next to someone and being like, oh no, what's happened? And then it was this kind of awkwardness. It was only one quick shot, but that was our first scene together. And I remember getting home that day from work and just saying to my friends, I was like, such a tough day at work today, you know? So, yeah. I mean, Mark was a joy to work with, but it was equally lovely to see him in his knickers. So,
although that beard looked a bit scratchy.
Oh no, I like a beard. I like a beard. You know, I mean, it certainly got longer recently. I saw him in a production not long ago, actually, and it had gotten a lot bigger. Yeah, I mean, he was a bit stubbly, and then he came back and he had a much fuller beard. So yeah,
This has now just turned into the two of us talking about cute guys.
I know. I feel like I should have a glass of wine.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you weren't expecting this from a Doctor Who convention, were you?
Precisely.
Well, David, it's been an absolute pleasure. It really has. I've loved talking to you.
Thank you. It's been honestly a complete pleasure on my behalf. So thank you so much.
Take care.